What is up, my nerd familia? Welcome back to another episode of Games y Mas, the podcast where we're talking about all things board games, video games, a little bit of pop culture. I'm your host, Vic, and today we're continuing our Jurassic World, Jurassic Park mini-series where we're talking about the movies, the video games, the board games, all things Jurassic Park, all things Jurassic World, the books, maybe even the Netflix shows. And so on today's episode, we're going to be talking about Jurassic Park Dominion. Yes, this is the third installment in the Jurassic World trilogy, I guess. Or it's not a trilogy anymore if you're counting Rebirth, but it's the third one that came out before Rebirth. And yeah, we're going to be talking about it, talking about our thoughts here, where it lands. I mean, if you listen to our previous episode when we talked about Fallen Kingdom, I decided that Dominion comes above Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. And so we'll talk about our gripes and some pros here. I think there's a little more pros in this one than Fallen Kingdom, but we'll get into it in there. If you guys want to follow us on all our socials, you can find us on X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, where you can find us at Games You Must Pod. That is at Games You Must Pod. Go ahead and give us a like, give us a follow, thumbs up, comment, show us our support, guys. If this is your first time watching, thank you so much for watching. And yeah, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you want to hear more content. Let's bring up that algorithm and let's grow our nerd familia, guys. I mean, I love seeing you guys' comments and your engagement, and it means the world to me. Talking to you guys, especially if we're talking about Jurassic Park or board games or anything nerdy, pretty much. I would always love to talk to you guys about anything nerdy. I'm always open. So yeah, feel free to send us a message on our socials, or if you want to send us some thoughts via email, you can find us at gamesymustpod@gmail.com. So with all that being said, pull up a chair, grab some dice, y acompáñame a jugar. Dominion. Jurassic World Dominion. Okay, so we have arrived to the third movie of the Jurassic World trilogy. I don't know if it's a trilogy now that Rebirth came out, like I said in the intro, but I'm going to call it a trilogy because Rebirth, I feel like they're trying to make another trilogy maybe, and if they do, oh my gosh. But, I mean, we'll dive into Rebirth. It's like that, that constant, stay tuned for Rebirth. Rebirth is coming. Jurassic World Rebirth is coming. The reason why we started these mini-series is because, I guess, with the recent release of Rebirth, I decided let's jump on this Jurassic World, Jurassic Park train real quick and talk more about it. I mean, for those that have been listening and have been watching my content for a while, know that you guys would know that Jurassic Park is my favorite movie of all time. Here's my top three. Here we go. Jurassic Park, Back to the Future, and E.T. I love all these three movies, all Universal movies, you can tell. As you can see from the poster in the background, I got my Universal Fan Fest hat on. I'm Team Universal, guys. I'm sorry if you're Disney adults, but I love Universal better. I think it's a better park. We actually had a debate episode where we did Universal Parks versus Disney Parks. We had our friends Sierra and Alberto on that pod. So check out that episode. We can leave a link below in the comment, in the description about that episode. You can see my arguments of why I think Universal is a better park. Now, if we're talking about like Universal Studios Hollywood versus Disneyland, I think Disneyland wins because it's bigger, more things to do. But I think Universal has a fighting chance. We have new rides coming out. But that's all theme park talk. That's just, that's a different episode we can get into. Here we're talking about Jurassic World Dominion. I'm trying to divert the conversation. Let's talk about something else in Dominion because I really don't want to talk about Dominion, but we gotta talk about it. If we're gonna continue on this series here, we're gonna talk about Jurassic World Dominion. So this movie, its marketing, its trailer of the original trio is back. You have the return of Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum, the original cast from Jurassic Park. They're back in this movie, and they did not do them justice. I am sorry, guys, but they butchered these characters. And so, again, spoilers if you haven't seen Dominion, go check out the movies. I can't tell you where it's streaming for the life of me, but go check them out wherever you can find it on our streaming platforms. If you don't want to get spoiled from this movie, but if you've seen this movie, then let's dive into this movie. So you've been warned. If you don't care about spoilers, continue on listening to this episode. But if you don't want to get spoiled, stop this episode, go watch the movie, and then come back and we can discuss it more together here. So I'll give you 3 seconds before we get into the spoilers here. All right, too late. We're getting into it. All right. So Jurassic World Dominion. We have the return of the director Colin Trevorrow. I'm sorry, I'm butchering these last names. But Colin Trevorrow, he's the one who directed Jurassic World, the first one. And funny enough, with Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, he was a writer in that one. So, and then we have again the return of Michael Giacchino. Giacchino. Sorry, sorry, Giacchino. And the helm again on the helm for the music. And so we have Colin back on here directing this movie. And man, I guess he can't catch a break with the scripts or anything because man, this movie was, woof. This movie was okay. So we have the return of the original cast, and then we have the return again back of Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard. Bryce, love me some redheads. Which is funny. It's a line in Dominion where one of the character, the pilot, I forgot her name. She's like, I get it. I like redheads too. So I was like, she gets it, you know. But Bryce Dallas Howard, she's back. She's looking good, and yeah, I just loved any scene that had her in it because I was like, oh, it made me forget that this movie was bad. I'm just joking. But shout out to you, Bryce. You're awesome. You're also side note, you're an awesome director. You directed some great episodes of The Mandalorian and some Star Wars stuff. So she's been at the helm of those stuff, and she does a phenomenal job. So she's gorgeous and has a good director eye. You can't beat that. And so, but I digress. Sorry. Let's get back into Jurassic World Dominion. Yeah, you have the return of the old cast, and then you have the Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, and then the actress that played Maisie in Fallen Kingdom. She's back as well. She's a bit older. She's that rambunctious teen, rebellious teen, trying to go out in the world, but they're trying to hide her because everyone's trying to look for her because she's the key to DNA. I guess her DNA is the key to scientific breakthroughs. But Owen Grady and Claire Bennett don't want to share her, I guess, or want to keep her hidden because they don't want her to be a lab rat and be stuck in labs. They want her to live a life by hiding her in the woods or somewhere in the wild, I guess. So that's how you have a life. I don't know. That's weird. But okay, so the return of the cast. I was excited when I saw the trailer because I'm like, okay, we have the original cast back. That's cool. Let's see what they do with them. And man, they did not do them justice. Here's an example, man. They tried to use so much of their signature stuff, signature shots, you could say, from the original movies into this movie. And I was like, why are you recopying this? This is stupid. Why would we do this? I'll give you an example. Laura Dern's character, Dr. Ellie Sattler, when she's going to investigate about the locust, she goes and investigates the family. And she does her iconic scene where she looks into the, with Jurassic Park, where she's focusing on a plant, and that Dr. Grant is trying to get her attention because he sees the dinosaur, and he turns her head, and she gets up and takes off the glasses and is super shocked. She does that same shot again, but this time she's looking to the field and looking at it, and I'm just like, why are you doing that shot? That shot was meant to be only for Jurassic Park because she's realizing she's seeing a dinosaur for the first time. An iconic scene. We can talk more about that when we talk about Jurassic Park, but they did it again here in Dominion, and I was like, why are you copying this scene? This has no purpose for this scene. You're literally looking at a field of how it's destroyed, and there's another field that's not destroyed. Why? There's no shock and awe value. That was just whatever. And then they have her dressed up like how they had her dressed up in the original movie. I'm like, why would you wear the same clothes? It wasn't the same exact, but it's the same color scheme, the red and the short. I was like, why are you doing this again? It was pretty sad to see that. And then again, they try to do a lot of Dr. Grant stuff. Dr. Grant, I think you should come see this, take a look at this, or some other thing. I was just like, oh man, why did they bring it? I was excited when I saw the trailers, but then when I watched the movies, I was like, you guys did not do justice to these characters. These characters did not need to belong in this movie. I was like, these characters are too old to be in this movie. They're tired to be in this movie. Why? If in the lore, if I was Dr. Grant, I'd be like, dude, I'm tired of why do I have to go back to do this dinosaur stuff? I'm just trying to just let me be, let me be. But for the last, we have them all three, and you have two different stories. You have the stories of Claire Bennett and Owen Grady, and then you have the original trio. They're trying to do the thing, and all this movie, all it came down to was mutated grasshoppers or locusts. That was the whole premise of the movie. This company, Biosin, is making this mutated prehistoric locusts, and they're destroying crops in the world, and there's a conspiracy, and the Biosin's beneath it all, or behind it all, and they recreated more dinosaurs. There's dinosaurs living out in the world now because of the events of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom now, so you have all this stuff, all these dinosaurs living out in the world and trying to adapt to the humans. And you have poachers and all that stuff, and I don't know. I was just like, okay, I guess there's no island stuff. I guess they go to the Biosin Valley Island Resort, whatever that they created. So it's pretty much like an InGen, but whatever. It's its own little facility where they have dinosaurs there, and I was like, okay, whatever. I will say though, when I rewatched this, I watched it with the deleted scene, intro deleted scene, which I don't know why they took that out because I think that would have maybe made the movie a little better. Not really, but at least it built some cool context to it. Where they have the deleted scene is like they show like 65 million years ago, and they have like when dinosaurs are ruling the earth, they're running around. You see them in their natural habitat. There's no music. It's just dinosaurs. Obviously, they're all CGI dinosaurs, but it's just dinosaurs living their life, doing their thing. You have the T Rex, and then you have the Giga no nom no the Giga Nog some Giga dinosaur, some huge dinosaur, whatever. They duke it out. The Giga dinosaur wins. You see how ferocious this thing was, and how there was a rivalry between the T Rex and the Giganomus's Rex. I don't know the G Rex. I would call it the G Rex. I don't know. This big dinosaur defeats, and you see the rivalry between them. I mean, I guess we don't have no more rivalry between T Rex and Raptor now. It's just these two dinosaurs. But you see that, and then it jumps over to 65 million years later, and you have all is where the movie starts off. I was just like, I thought they should have kept that deleted scene. I thought it fit really well. I think it was pretty cool to set the premise of like foreshadowing of what's going to happen towards the end. But we didn't get that in the theatrical version, so it sucks that you have to watch a deleted scene to kind of give it a little bit more of a boost for this movie. And so, so we have that. Claire is still on her, mission to save these animals now that there's poachers. One positive thing I love about this movie is that there is a lot more animatronics in this one. There is more practicals. I think maybe they heard the fans, maybe they heard the complaints that it was all CGI, everything was CGI in the previous movies. This one, you have more practicals, which I appreciate more. Obviously, there's still CGI, dominates this movie, but at least there's more practicals to play with, especially when you have like the underground black market scene in, I forgot what country they travel to, but is it France or something? It's like France, I think, or something like that, which I appreciated more. But I mean, man, like it fell in parallel with a little bit of Jurassic. Give you guys a little bit of a teaser with Jurassic World Rebirth, where Jurassic World Rebirth, you have two stories. You have the stories of the mercenaries, and you have the stories of this family and how they meet up and how they both are surviving in this island, whatever, back in the island. Again, Dominion, you have that. You have the story of the original trio, Ellie Sattler, Dr. Grant, and Ian Malcolm. And Ellie Sattler's trying to uncover the secrets between Biosin, run by Dodson, which is, if you guys remember, Dodson, it was in the first movie. He wanted to get the DNA samples, and he's asking Nedry's help, and he gave him the Barber's whole can, and you could put the DNAs in there. So it was Dodson's rival company trying to get the secrets from InGen, and so now you see Dodson has the secrets, I guess you could say, and then he grew his company to Biosin. They're trying to figure out what's going on with Biosin, the conspiracies of, Biosin's behind everything, and, under the guise of, like, we are revolutionizing science and taking care of dinosaurs, this whole big scene that they have, this little introductory video that they do with Dodson. And so you have that trilogy, you have the trilogy, you have the original trio, and then you have Claire Bennett and Owen Grady. They're trying to get Maisie Williams back because she was kidnapped by, I guess, Biosin. Biosin's been looking for Maisie, and also been looking for Blue, or the offspring of Blue. So they kidnapped the Blue's offspring, and then there's this whole thing with Owen Gray's like, I promise you I'll get her back, and like she cuts him as up like a token, like I'm holding you to your word, or I don't know what it was, but he made a promise. And I love the line with Ian Malcolm where he's like, you've made a promise to a dinosaur. Okay. And I was like, literally like, yeah, bro, did you really make a promise to a dinosaur? That dinosaur does not know anything. It's probably out in the woods just hunting, like, taking care of itself, just doing its own thing, like picking its nose or whatever. It doesn't even know that you're trying out there, like risking your life trying to save this dinosaur. For all she knows, Blue thinks you took the dinosaur, just gave it back. It's like, all right, beat it, kid. But you have those two stories, and then they merge together in Biosin, and now they're all like, we got to take down this company, what's going on? They're all behind it all, and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, whatever. And you have the return of Henry Wu again. Again, he was in all three of them, all three of the Jurassic World. In fact, I think he was only in the first Jurassic Park, and then in all three Jurassic Worlds. And man, this guy is looking beat, bro. He's like, I'm tired of making these movies. Or his character was like, I'm tired of all these companies, using all this research data to cause havoc in this world. I just wanted to create dinosaurs and genetics and whatever. At least in the second one, he was like, oh, we're creating new things. He was more evil. And then this third one, he was like, bro, I've had enough of this. Like, I'm tired of being the bad guy or something like that. The actor was like done, bro. I was like, I'm done with this movie. I don't want to be in this movie. We made a mistake. Biosin's evil. I just want out, or I just want to fix everything. So it was cool to see him back, I guess. But seeing these dinosaurs, some pros about this movie. I think there's some cool shots in this movie. Again, I think the intro was really awesome. They should have kept that as the theatrical with the whole just no music, nothing, just the ambiance of the world. You have the prehistoric sounds, the birds and stuff like that. It sounds so nice, and like you just see these dinosaurs in their natural habitats, and it was in the natural world how they were. It was awesome. It was cool. I enjoyed it. Another great shot. A lot of people agree with this is the one where they get to Biosin, and their plane crashes. You have Owen Grady's character, or you have Chris Pratt's character and Bryce Dallas Harris' character, and then the girl, I forgot her name, the pilot. They crash because one of the pterodactyls takes down, or Pteranodons take down the plane. They have to split up, and you have Bryce Dallas' character is by herself in the forest, because I guess she was the only one that had a parachute. I think they explained it because the pilot's like, I only carry one for myself because I don't take guests, but Bryce is the only one. So then Chris Pratt's like, you got to go. You're the one who can save her, and we'll try to make it alive. And then the plane crashes, and then Chris Pratt and the other character are alive. Because again, they're not going to kill off these characters. They're just going to keep off. They're going to keep all the main characters. There's not once where I was like, a character's going to die. I wasn't worried. I wasn't worried that Ian Malcolm, they're going to kill him off, because I was like, they're not going to kill off these characters. There was no real peril in this movie, so I was just like, I don't have to worry about that. And so yeah, the plane crashes and you see them escape out of the hatch, and I was like, okay, I guess they survived unscathed. Apparently, they had no cuts, no blood. There's nothing. There's like no damage to these characters, which is really weird. Like they went through a lot of stuff and they had no damage. I was like, man, they must have some good healing powers or something. They must be X-Men or something. I don't know, but they didn't have like any cuts. Not that I see it until like towards the end when they had like cuts and bruises and stuff. At least in the other ones, they like made it like look like they had like gashes and stuff like that. I don't know. I guess maybe people complained. I don't know. But anyway, back to the scene that I enjoyed. Bryce Dallas Howard's character is in the jungle, and you have this dinosaur that like, I don't know what kind of dinosaur this thing, but it has like the long like fingernail claws, and then it's like blind, so it like goes based off sound, I think. And so I don't know, like she's sneaking by, which is pretty cool because you see the shot where like it's following her, crawling by, and you see the dinosaur in the background like following her, and then she goes underwater, and then the dinosaurs are looking underwater, and so she's looking through the like you see the dinosaur like her like the head like poking through the lake, and then it does like a wide angle shot when it shows like her underwater and the dinosaur like roaring or something like that. It was a good shot. I enjoyed the shot. I think it was a pretty cool shot with like kind of gave me that tense like, all right, hold your breath till the dinosaur goes. But then I'm like, what if the dinosaur just stayed there? Like you would have been dead. And so yeah, I think that was a good shot. I think that's it really. Everything else was kind of like bland. But again, this movie, I guess like the original characters, they just really they didn't do them justice at all. I mean, some of the action sequences, I was like, okay, I understand. The giganomic source, whatever, the G-Rex was menacing for sure. They made it menacing, but I mean, I wasn't like fearful for these characters. Again, with these trilogies, the new trilogies, I wasn't really fearful with these characters at all. I felt like these characters were they were safe. They were just gonna maybe escape barely, but they were gonna be safe regardless. And so I think this movie gets my bump up because of the use of the animatronics. I love animatronics. I love the practical effects. CGI, just you can tell it's CGI. I know you can't do much with practical effects. With CGI you have more freedoms to do that, but when the whole movie's all CGI, it kind of takes away from the movie. And so I liked the fact that they had more animatronics in this movie. More dinosaurs for sure. It showed a lot more dinosaurs, which I thought was pretty cool, I guess. This whole like motorbike scene with Owen Grady riding around Italy or France, I think, and then you have like, they're not raptors, but I forgot what they're called, but they're like trained to like lasers or something like that. So you shoot the laser at him, they're like chasing after him on the bike. Like we always have to have like this bike scene or something like that going on with Owen Grady. You always got to be riding a bike. He's always working on a bike. You always see that. He's always working on a bike or something like that. And I'm like, okay, well, this guy really likes bikes. But anyway, I think, yeah, it was, I mean, man, some cool shots. Like we said, there's some pretty cool shots, but like, was it enough to say this movie? I don't think it was. I think the storyline was very just all over the place. And like, they were just trying to, I think it was just trying to do like a lot of fan service to the fans to like, hey, we brought the original trio. You guys should like this movie now. And I was just like, nah, yes, but you got to do something with them. Not, they're just like there to like just be there, I guess. You just like show off, I guess. And I guess they rescued Maisie, or Maisie escapes, and then like he goes with them, and then they have, I don't know, it was just weird. And then there's like this scene with like the Dilophosaurus now, like more Dilophosaurus. It was gonna eat um it was gonna like attack Bryce Dallas Howard's character, but then like Owen Grady comes and shuts the dinosaur, and then they like shock it or something like that. I was like, what in the world? Okay, like they fight the Giganotosaurus, whatever, the G-Rex. They fight it. Like it's funny, like they're like punching it and like stabbing it, and I was like, oh, okay, now we're doing this. Now we're just beating up dinosaurs like that, trying to escape. I was like, all right, that's cool. I guess they're like shocking the eye. I was just like, all right, it became an action movie. And then the way Dodson goes, I mean, I think they were trying to do a callback the way of like how Nedry died in Jurassic Park 1 with the Dilophosaurus. They find Dodson and they spit him, and he has the barber soul can. You see the barber soul can fall from the original movie, and I was just like, okay, like this scene was not needed. Like you could just kill them off like really quickly. You didn't have to do like, check this out, we're doing again how Jurassic Park 1 did it. And I was just like, ugh. And my thought was, okay, you're just trying to close off this whole Jurassic World franchise and just be like, we're done with it, And I was like, all right, whatever, it's done, we're over. I mean, but then we have Rebirth. But I think it felt like it was just like, man, like guys, like, I mean, I feel like I'm griping it more than I did with Fallen Kingdom. And even though I gave Fallen Kingdom the bottom of the list, again, they're tied for like my bottom least favorite movies. But the use of animatronics, some good, better shots, and at least it was more survival, I guess, more like trying to uncover mystery. I don't know. It just felt like that was more suited for a Jurassic Park movie than it was to like animal rights, and we're going to the island, save the animals. Now we're going to release them to the world. And I was like, okay, whatever. At least Dominion is like, all right, we have these dinosaurs, but like now we got to figure out what's going on with this like company. What is Biosin doing? That was kind of a little bit of the theming in the first 3 Jurassic Park movies with InGen. Like, what was InGen up to? What were they really up to? What were they doing? The first Jurassic Park, they just wanted to build dinosaurs, but then Lost World's like, oh, it turns out there's another island where we just let them free. So Ian's like, what were you guys really doing? And then the third one's like, we have these new dinosaurs. We have a Spinosaurus. And they're like, it wasn't in InGen's list. And then Grant was like, it wasn't. But, which makes me wonder what else they were up to. So, okay, you have like a little mystery. At least in Dominion, it's like, okay, Biosin, what are they up to? What's going on? Here's this little mystery. Let's figure out what's happening with them. And so I think that's the reason why it was more Jurassic Park-esque than it was with Fallen Kingdom. And so, yeah, Dominion was, it was a pain to go through, especially seeing these original characters that I loved from the first movie be butchered in this movie. And so I was like, oh, man. But, hey, Bryce Dallas Howard killed it again. I'm just joking. But, so Dominion falls right above Fallen Kingdom, still on the last of my list. Not a movie that I'm willing to, like, always watch and down. Again, if it's on TV, like I said with Fallen Kingdom, if it's on TV, I'm just gonna have it in the background, not focus, and just do my own thing, do whatever I'm trying to do. Whereas with same thing, I'll just have it in the background, and so I'm not gonna like sit down and have a movie night and like, let's watch Dominion. It's gonna be in the background with commercials. That's what it's gonna be for me. It doesn't make me want to really watch it down like with Lost World or Jurassic Park, and even Jurassic Park 3. Like, it doesn't make me want to watch it, like sit down and really watch. It was a pain to watch it for sure, but I had to do it for the series for you guys to talk about. So, Jurassic Park Dominion. Let me know, guys, in the comments below. What do you think about this movie? Do you think it was good? Do you think it deserves to be better than Fallen Kingdom? Or do you think it is worse than Fallen Kingdom? I'm very curious to hear your guys' thoughts. There's always like little debate of which one's the worst one, I guess. Fallen Kingdom or Dominion. Again, has its golden nuggets. There are some cool shots. There are some maybe some good moments of action, or some moments of like visuals effects. I think they're cool, but it's not worthy enough to save the movie. It was cool seeing the original cast back, but I mean, if you could have done something better with them instead of butchering them like how it is. And so, yeah, guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think about? Don't forget to give us a follow on all the socials. Again, I'll repeat them. We're on X, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Music, iHeartRadio. Guys, give us a follow if you like this content. We're always trying to produce more content for you guys, more nerdy stuff for you guys. And if you really enjoy it, give us a follow. Click that 5 stars. Give us 5 stars. Give us a good rating if you enjoyed it. Let us know what we can improve. On YouTube, give us a like or subscribe. Hit that notification button so you can know when we release new episodes. And we're trying to build up the algorithm. We're trying to get our Nerd Familia to grow. Get this Nerd Familia going. All are welcome into the Nerd Familia. If you like all things nerdy, then you're in the right spot. And so for those of you that have been watching and listening for a while, thank you guys so much for listening and watching. If this is your first time, thank you again for tuning into this episode. Hopefully you can tune in to our other episodes. We talked about Fallen Kingdom in the previous episode, and in the previous 2 episodes we talked about Jurassic Park 3 and Jurassic World. And now, now that we got Dominion out of the way, we're going to probably talk about Lost World and Jurassic Park. So we're saving the best for last. Or actually, I might actually even pause and actually talk about the video games and the board games before we get to the very last movies. Or we might talk about Rebirth. We don't know. Life just finds a way, to figure out, to quote a famous scientist, chaostician here on the show here. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in, for listening. Y nos vemos a la próxima.